My son in college the most. Sprint pays half.
Now there's a new reason to switch to the most.
What if I told you he goes to college in Japan?
No problem. Call anyone, anywhere, anytime, and Sprint will split the bill on the person you call most.
I don't suppose there's any...
1,200 stores coast to coast. Fashion Bug fits your life.
Flooding was just the beginning of the disaster for many farmers living alongside the Mississippi. It was not until Gil Dinan returned to what was once his house did the full impact of the flooding literally strike home.
That's a new roof. Just put that roof on last September. We built that house 25 years ago. It wasn't really prepared for to see it looking that bad.
Like many other farmers who saw their homes destroyed by the flood, Dinan had no insurance. What made his loss even more painful is that he helped cause it. As the local levee commissioner, he made the decision to purposely flood his own land. He did so in order to save his neighbors and the rest of the town. The town Dinan hoped to save is Prairie du Rocher, which is 45 miles south of St. Louis on the east bank of the Mississippi. It is the oldest village in Illinois with a population of 805.
I've lived here in this area for the last 33 years, and really the town has never been flooded, but there's never been a flood of this magnitude before.
When the floodwaters began to rise in early June and the northern Mississippi first began to overflow its banks, displacing thousands, the people in Prairie du Rocher reacted, as did all America, to the scenes on their television sets. They were stunned and amazed by the devastation caused by the rising waters, but they did not fear for themselves.
I felt like we were going to be safe. I never expected this to happen. Even when they started talking about 47 feet at St. Louis, I felt our levee would hold it.
How does a levee work? A levee, which is made of earth and clay, holds back the water like a dam. Prairie du Rocher is protected by a levee system made up of a main levee running alongside the Mississippi and a cross levee perpendicular to the river.
It's like basically a fort, an earthen fort against the water coming in from either the creek or from the Mississippi River itself.
On Sunday, August 1st, the citizens of Prairie du Rocher began paying closer attention to that flood. That morning at 9:30 a.m., a levee 33 miles north in the Columbia District gave way. This failure allowed the Mississippi floodwaters inside the levee system. Levees fail for three reasons. Water flows over them and they break, or water tunnels under them and they collapse, or like the Columbia levee, they become saturated with floodwaters and break out, releasing a wall of water.
The Columbia levee district started filling in with water. It continued to rise all through that day. Finally, about 9 o'clock that evening, it started coming over the south flank levee. And at that time, we knew we had a serious problem.
That's because the South Flank levee was the last levee before the town of Valmeyer, which is 23 miles to the north of Prairie du Rocher. By 6 a.m. Monday morning, the town of Valmeyer was underwater.
When we heard that there was water coming into Valmeyer, we knew there's not a cross levee between here and there. There's nothing to stop it.
The flood would now hit Prairie du Rocher within 36 hours. The only thing protecting them from the fast-moving waters, a single levee just a few hundred yards north of town. Volunteers rushed out to join the National Guard and reinforce that levee, but engineers feared the coming flood would be too much for it.
We could take it for a little bit of time, but eventually I was afraid it would reach and wipe out the town of Prairie du Rocher.
By Monday at 4 p.m., the Corps of Engineers was forced to do something that had never been done before. They proposed cutting a hole in the main levee on the Mississippi. But why destroy what was designed to keep the river out? The hope was that by allowing the Mississippi in, it would slow down the oncoming floodwaters, and that the combined floodwaters would then be diverted away from the town and back into the swollen Mississippi.
The Corps of Engineers don't normally breach levees, and it's really against all our regulations to do so. We didn't think we had a choice, so we recommended to the levee commissioners to try this in a last-ditch effort.
That meant flooding farms that were still dry. It was a decision that fell to Levee Commissioner Gil Dinan. His farm would be among the first to go.
It was a difficult decision. I just felt like if there was something we could do to keep it from happening to others, we had to do it.
At 6 p.m. Monday, a crane and bulldozer started cutting a hole the size of a football field in the main levee. They worked throughout the night, and by 1:30 in the morning, the hole was done and water flowed in to confront the floodwaters flowing south. The plan of using the flood to fight the flood seemed to be working. But by 4 o'clock that afternoon, an unexpected problem developed. The combined floodwaters were supposed to return to the Mississippi, but the hole was too small. The floodwaters were rising now 6 inches an hour. By 8 p.m., water began to destroy the last levee protecting the town. The National Guard and volunteers were called back, and the town of Prairie du Rocher was ordered to evacuate. Dinan's sacrifice appeared to be for nothing.
That warning siren ended Prairie du Rocher's last stand. It came shortly before 8:30. Everybody out now. The prairie beneath the rock will soon be the prairie beneath the Mississippi.
But reports of the town's death were premature. Its citizens were not ready to give up.
We had a meeting here at the village hall, and we decided that we just couldn't quit.
The townspeople and the National Guard returned to the levee. It was the last stand for Prairie du Rocher.
All the reports from the out on the levee from the sandbaggers were they were losing the battle, so it got desperate. We had to do something else.
The only way to save the town was to open more holes in the main levee to let out more water. The problem was it had to be done quickly.
So we decided to try the blasting and see what it would do.
They blasted one new hole at 3 o'clock in the morning and a second one at 5 a.m. Then they waited. It was a long night. The gamble paid off.
By daylight, the water seemed to stabilize, like it just didn't raise anymore.
Finally, on Wednesday, the waters began to recede. However, the victory was not without cost. The man who led the fight to save Prairie du Rocher lost his house and his farm. Gil Dinan will rebuild and start over here so he can once again call the banks of the Mississippi his home.
It was here before I was, so this is something to be expected, but let's just hope this is the 500-year flood and we won't be around to see another one.
Still ahead, the amazing process of how your packages absolutely positively get to where they're going the next morning.
Don't do the dishes till you do this sale. Right now, you can save big on America's best dishwashing system, the Kenmore Ultra Wash 2. This 3-level wash dishwasher is only $329.99. You save $70. Kenmore is America's best-selling brand. It's backed by America's largest retail service fleet, and Sears satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. And right now, it's on sale during Sears Brand Central's birthday bash. We're going to help you do the dishes. Get to Sears Brand Central now.
This summer reminder is brought to you by Pepsi. Better get yours before Shaq gets it all.
It's Red Lobster's Lobster Fest.
Grab the gang and head on down to a swinging lobster party at the top of the town.
Main tails, rock tails, new combinations, all at special prices.
The lobster's just the best at Red Lobster's Lobster Fest.
Honey Nut Cheerios. Honey toasted for an irresistible taste.
It's Honey Nut Cheerios.
People always ask us plumbers why their drains run slow. Greasy, gunky buildup is why. Now you can treat this and prevent it from coming back with new Liquid Plumber Buildup Remover. Ordinary liquid drain openers remove clogs that flow past the greasy buildup. Liquid Plumber Buildup Remover releases millions of hungry enzymes that eat the gunk lining your pipes and keep your drains flowing free. New Liquid Plumber Buildup Remover gets the gunk that slows your drains.
We showed people a preview of
It Had to Be You.
Sunday after 60 Minutes. It's your turn to see what America's talking about.
The chemistry is amazing.
Put the lids down on all the toilets.
Do you honor all your guests this way?
Robert Urich
Total set.
and Faye Dunaway.
She is really funny.
So funny.
It Had to Be You, Sunday after 60 Minutes. Every picture tells a story.
Who wants potatoes? Who knew the kid could cook?
We knew we'd have to.
Find yourself in our family album next Friday.
Federal Express handles over 1.5 million packages every single day, and about half of them go right through this room. Then they're on their way to one of 180 different countries. We are at the hub of FedEx here in Memphis. President Fred Smith and 93,000 employees have turned Federal Express into the household word for overnight delivery. And here's how they did it.
The original idea for Federal Express came from my observing during college the growing electronic industry. That industry needed a very different way to deliver its parts and supplies, because when the computer that you're using goes down, you're out of business.
As an economics student at Yale, Smith wrote a paper about his idea. To launch FedEx, he tried something that had never been done before. In 1973, he purchased 23 airplanes, his own airline, and leased a small fleet of trucks. The passengers, packages.
Before we got started, for whatever reason, no one had ever done that before. People operated trucks, they operated planes, but nobody operated them on an integrated basis.
But when planes and trucks are hauling tons of freight all over the world, one little package can easily slip through the cracks.
What we had to do is to come up with a way to handle each and every one of the items we carried as if we were physically putting it under our arm and carrying it to the destination.
How? Tracking. When a courier picks up your package, he labels it with a barcode. Each package's origin, weight, and destination are encoded in the bars, which are scanned and fed via radio to a master computer. From this point on, each parcel has its own identity.
It really didn't make any difference whether the box is in our hands in one of our trucks going 50 miles an hour or one of our planes going 500 miles an hour. If you can keep up with it, regardless of wherever it is, with your computer and your office, it's just as good as if you had it in your warehouse.
Suppose your package is going from Minneapolis to Milwaukee, 348 miles away. A truck takes it to the local airport. From there, it hops a flight to Memphis, Tennessee. Detouring through Memphis turns a 348-mile trip into a 1,600-mile journey. Why not go directly to Milwaukee? Well, that could work for one package, but when you're dealing with millions, it would be inefficient. Smith pioneered something called the hub system to streamline the process.
It operates like a great big telephone switch or a bank clearinghouse. And by that, I mean we bring things from one point into a central location, which we call a hub, and mix it up with all of the other items from lots of other cities and collect them all going to a single destination. Now, what that allows you to do is to connect a lot of different points with relatively few airplanes or trucks.
Today, there are 5 hubs, including Memphis, the original super hub. Smith chose Memphis for its central location and mild climate.
If you were to pick up the United States, if you could do that and hold it on your finger, you would balance the country based on where all the population lives by putting your finger someplace right around Memphis.
But even when it's sunny in Memphis, bad weather around the world can play havoc with the schedules of 31,000 trucks and 465 aircraft. How does your package stay ahead of Mother Nature? FedEx has its own staff of 12 meteorologists working around the clock.
We're really only interested in about a 6-hour window. The National Weather Service will issue a forecast at a given time. Every day at 7 p.m. that forecast will come out. We issue our forecast, though, concurrent with our operation. Our forecast will be issued at about midnight.
To get your package and thousands of others to their destinations by 10:30 a.m., The first planes start arriving in Memphis at 11 p.m. the night before. In just 2 hours, 105 aircraft touch down. In master control, a computer monitor tells them the status of every plane once they're on the ground. Blue means the plane has arrived. Red means that it's ready to offload. Yellow means offloading has begun. And green that it's finished. Cargo handlers unload the package containers and whisk them to the primary sorting area. A 15-acre, 176-mile network of belts and chutes. 750,000 items must be sorted and routed correctly in just 2 hours and 10 minutes. How? Sorters grab packages out of a huge jumbo, then turn them barcode side up and feed them under an overhead scanner. The codes then trigger mechanical arms called diverters that punch the cargo down different belts, each headed toward a different destination. There's one final failsafe.
I'm the last person who sees the freight before it's boarded onto the aircraft or truck. At any given time, I might receive a box or a document that may have incorrect information on it. Then at my checkpoint, then that's where I correct it.
In what's called an optimum takeoff, between 2:50 and 3:45 a.m., all 105 planes depart. That's more than the busiest airport in America, Chicago's O'Hare, handles at the height of rush hour. Before dawn, the plane carrying your package lands at its destination, where it's sorted by zip code. The driver delivers it to its final destination by 10:30 a.m. So when you hear,
But it absolutely positively has to be there overnight.
you now know how they do it. We will absolutely, positively be right back, so stay with us.
Ah, blueberry croissant, delicious.
Kellogg's Nutri-Grain, naturally delicious.
Yeah, real blueberry filling in there.
Yeah, well, Kellogg's Nutri-Grain.